Back with another Kickstarter board game. This is the Worms board game from Mantic Games. I didn't back this on Kickstarter once again, there's a lot of that going around. This one I pre-ordered from Wayland Games, who got them from Kickstarter. So it's a Kickstarter version. If we have a look at the side of the box, it says Mantic Worms First Kickstarter Armageddon Pledge English. Panda game manufacturing made in China. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. And I do appear to have a bit of a theme where I end up buying video game themed board games. So maybe I need to address that at some points. But I'm looking forward to this one. Let's open it up. Right, opening up the box, so we should have the Kickstarter extra goodies on top. And starting off, we have a very crumpled neoprene playmat. So hopefully we're going to be able to flatten this out. Let's open this up first and have a look. Do like the irony of it saying, please unfold and store rolled to minimize creases, when they delivered it creased. So yeah, it is what it is. This playmat is huge. It doesn't even fit on this table. If I zoom out so you can see most of it, see it's all over here as well. But we've got like worm designs over here. You've got some card decks over on this side and back over this side, and then in the corners there's some tiles as well. So it's a really nice big play area. It's not like other games where you've got like actual like hex tiles to put stuff on. This one is kind of, you build it on anywhere on the table. This is just a nice way to put it. But yeah, we're going to need to roll it up to avoid creasing. But very cool. Start with that. Next up, we have this brown standard looking box here. I guess this is going to be the Kickstarter extras. Yeah, Kickstarter Worms Armageddon extras box. Not to be sold on its own. This product must be shipped with this one must be sold with this one. Right, let's open that in a second. And then finally the game itself. So there is Worms, the board game, collector's edition. You've got some cheeky worm on the front holding one of the cool die. I think it's a D12, I'm not too sure. Mantic collector's edition, team at 17. Not too much to show on either of the sides. This Kickstarter was last year, and I had considered it at the time, but I decided against it. But obviously now I've decided to go for it. So you see it says a hilarious game of strategy, chance and exploding sheep. There's loads of different worm sculpts, so I'm really looking forward to all of these. You can see what's included in the box here. Got 64 miniatures, 10 multi-hex map tiles, 16 water hexes and wind dial, 150 cards, 35 counters, 10 dice and 1 metal danger flipper. That's because it's the Kickstarter version. And the collector's edition also includes more worms. We've got play with up to 6 players, so normally this would be a 4-player game, but the Kickstarter version is up to 6 players, which is pretty cool. We've got an arsenal of additional weapons and utilities, bonus landscapes that mix things up with new battlefield themes, and also we've got exclusive components for the best tabletop experience compared to the standard edition. So we'll look at that in just a second. First of all though, I think we should open up the Kickstarter box. You see on this side it says, for reference, Kickstarter Worms Armageddon Pledge must contain, and then it has all of the stuff that was in the box. So the extras box, the Mayhem Pledge and the neoprene playmat. So just to make sure that that's all included, which it was, which is good. Okie dokie. So starting off, we have some pink worm colored dice, which is pretty nice. So I don't think they are special really, they're just alternate versions of the dice that you get in the base game, so that's pretty cool. Next we have what looks like a dice tray. It's an interesting choice of materials for a dice tray because it's like neoprene. Normally they're a bit more solid than this, but let's put it together. There we are, nice little dice tray. It's pretty nice, but it's not very flat, so I'm not sure how like useful this actually would be. I mean, at least they are 8-sided die, so they don't need to have as much of a flat surface, but yeah, we'll see how this works flattened out. I like the design though. Next up, we have a bunch of stuff tied together. Right, so first of all, we have some art prints by the looks of it. Not particularly glossy. We've got Worms, the board game there, and then we've got that with that design there as well. and then that I think is the standard edition design. So 3 different art prints, and then we have some extra tiles for the game. Now this is the actual useful stuff. So we've got some kind of like cake themed hex tiles here. So some of these are connected, I think these are connected and those are connected, and you would put them together. And then here is some kind of like Christmas theme. You can see the snowmen there, got some fern trees, very cool. So that's that one, and then it looks like we've got more of the same sort of designs here, although quite different. They are actually unique looking, which is pretty nice. Got like some kind of candy house there, so definitely candy themed, and more Christmas on the back. And then same with the last one, got more of a pink sort of candy design. You've got some chocolate swirls and stuff there, and then on the back even more snowy themes. So we've got an extra couple of themed tiles for the game. Pretty cool. All right, now it's time to look at the game itself. So I'm guessing all of the alternative sculpt worms are going to be in this box rather than in the main, in the extra box. See the corner down here is quite creased. It's annoying. All right, let's open him up and see what we've got. First things first, we've got an advert for some more Mantic games. We've got Dungeon Saga Origins and Kings of War Ambush. Can't say I've ever heard of them. Next we have what looks like the instruction manual. So you see it's got some credits there, some details on the contents, what they do, setup. That's what a game will look like once set up, which is pretty nice. How to play, and so on. An example turn, keywords and terms. Some more keywords, terms, and then on the back we've got a quick reference. So it's a pretty small rulebook, which is pretty nice. So hopefully it's not too complicated. On the back we have extra rules for the 5 to 6 players here. So collector's edition contains all the additional map tiles, starter cards, and things you need. So that's cool. We've got some information about new weapon and super weapon cards, and also on some of the new utility cards. So this essentially will just cover some of the things that aren't in the base game instructions. Here we have our normal tiles. So these are the ones that come with the this edition of the game. So you see it's kind of like craggy, rocky there, but grassy there. Similar on these tiles as well. Over here we have some extra things. So we have like some flame tiles and then some craters of some description. So I guess that's to signify damage to the hexes. So that's pretty cool. Here we have some water tiles, very nice. You've got a shark there, you've got some rocks and a missile going in it, you've got a message in a bottle. Got some extra tiles here, look like turrets of some description, some magnets, and some frozen worm tiles, interestingly. And we've got some pink water on the back as well, so that's pretty cool. Maybe that's for sudden death or something. Here we have more things, so more tiles here. We also have the wind direction thing, so it looks like it's just going to be this here and then this icon down here to point towards it. So it's not a spinner or anything, which is a bit of a shame. And then on the back, got the pink version of everything and this dead worm, a live worm symbol. Don't know what that means, but it's pretty cool. More tiles here, looks like more of the same. And then we have more water tiles with more designs. Got some kind of fish down here and super sheep flying around over here. That's really cool. And then the pink version. Okay, so moving into the rest of the box, it's quite interesting because the miniatures look like they're kind of like a dark grey instead of a light grey, which is what I was expecting them to be, but we'll get them out and see how they look. First things first, here we have this here metal coin. So you see that has a happy worm on one side and a dead worm on the other side. I wonder if that's like sudden death or something like that. Here we have the colour toppers or bottoms, I guess, for the worms. So this is to signify what team you're on. So they do have the additional colours. You've got green, yellow, red, purple, blue, and then this sort of like lighter blue colour. So that means that you can have up to 6 sets of worms. Pretty cool. We have a bundle of components here. So it looks like oil drums, mines, and crates. Here we go, here's one of each. So this is a like supply crate where you can pick up new weapons. Then we have an oil drum, and then we have a mine, which is quite a lot bigger than I would have thought it would be, but they're actually quite small minis, which makes sense because you're going to have a lot of stuff on each of the tiles, but you get lots and lots of those. Here we have some large cards, so we'll look at those in a second. Got some green dice in here, so it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green dice. They all do the same thing, I think. So I imagine 10 would be fine, but they'll go with the pink ones and we'll have even more. We have 2 more decks of cards, so we're going to look at the card decks at the end. Right, enough faffing around, let's look at the minis. So it looks like we've got 2 layers at least. Yeah, so we've got these ones and then these ones underneath. Are there any more underneath that? Probably not, right? Oh my god, there are. Okay, we've got a lot of minis to look at. So looking at the top layer, we've got some duplicates here. So we have this guy here. He's holding some kind of shotgun. He's really cool. And if you put the color marker on it, so for example, you get one of these, you take your worm, you click that into place, and then you know that is the light blue player's worm. So that's really cool. I like how that works. So yeah, that is a shotgun worm, wielding it with one hand, which is, you know, I wouldn't do that. Let's get some better lighting on that. There we go. That's better. Cool. Worm number 1. So it looks like we get 3 of each of these. We have a worm holding a mine here, looking very cheeky. I really like these. Here we have a worm with a bazooka, looking awesome. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Here's a baseball bat worm, and we have 3 of these. He's about to launch you into the drink. And then we have a worm with a revolver, looking super cheeky, quite menacing. This next layer looks pretty wacky, so let's see what we got. Here we have an Uzi wielding worm. Very cool, and we get 6 of those. Here's a worm with a grenade, and we get 6 of these as well. So the ones underneath look completely unique. It looks like we only get 1 of them. So we have this guy wearing some kind of wig and a musket. Looks really awesome. This guy's just making a phone call, you know. He's not into all this fighting. This pyromaniac looking guy is holding 2 sticks of dynamite. I like his sunglasses. Here we have an old Albert Einstein looking guy holding a button, which is a bit ironic, but yeah, pretty cool. This one's just a sheep of some description. Oh, is it Super Sheep? Yeah, he's got a cape on. Super Sheep, nice. And then we have a welder holding a torch there, so he can be digging into the ground. So that's layer 2 of 3. In layer 3, we have this worm with a huge grin and a ninja rope. Look at that smug look on his face. So we get 3 of those, and then it looks like the rest of these are all unique. So we have a worm wielding a banana palm. Nice. We've got some kind of gunslinger worm here, rooting and tooting. See, he's holding his gun with both hands, as you should. We have a disco worm also holding his gun. That's crazy. We have another cowboy, but this one has a massive bushy moustache and a minigun, which I don't think cowboys are renowned for wielding, but yeah, that's pretty awesome. Some kind of World War I looking worm holding a flamethrower. So he's got the helmet on. Here's a pyromaniac with his Molotov cocktail. I'm not sure, is this meant to be like a Scottish golfer, or I'm not entirely sure what this is meant to be. We have a centurion worm reporting for duty. We have a pirate with an eye patch. Just needed to make sure you had the skull and crossbones on there twice to know he means business. I think this is a fireball worm, because he's got the sort of ninja headband, and he's got like a Hadouken coming out of his hands. I love that one, that's awesome. And the final miniature is this sort of samurai looking guy. Looking pretty cool. So yeah, loads of really unique molds and miniatures, so that's really nice. So how many is that in total? So there's 14 on the bottom there, and then we have 18 in the top 2 layers, so that is 50 total miniatures, which is quite a lot, and a lot of them are unique skulls, which is really awesome. And then of course you get the barrels and mines and whatnot. So I just finished filming, and then I look into the box and I realized there is another layer of worms. So we have even more worms. I thought we had 50, but it turns out we actually have 66. There's some even more designs down here. You can see we have some worms with girders. So we get 6 of those construction looking guys. We have a Pope with a holy hand grenade. We have a guy with a jetpack. We've got some kind of Viking, some kind of Robin Hood looking guy. I think this is the concrete donkey, and this is a worm with a carrier pigeon on its head. This is a cat. We've got this worm with a sheep on his head. We've got 3 worms with a priceless Ming vase on their head as well. So that's really cool. So yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 16 more in this layer, which means that in total we have 66 unique sculpts. Well, not unique sculpts, we have 66 sculpts, which is that's mad. That's really cool. Thumbs up from me. All right, so last thing to look at, I guess, are the cards. Right, so these big cards here. Starting off, we have reference cards. So I've got 1, 2 of those. And then some player turn and targeting on the back. So only 2. Oh no, we've got some more. There we go. I guess the 2 is for the extra players. So you get 6 in total. So 1 for each player. Then we have these things here: freeze, thing, electromagnet. So I guess a thing is a type of thing in the game. The sentry gun, water tile, supply crate, crater, fire, oil drum, and mine. So I think that just kind of explains what all of the things do. Next up, we have this stack of cards. So looking at the backs of the cards, this looks like we've got equipment here, but then we've got more equipment, but it's a white back instead of black, whatever that means. Reinforcements, perhaps, and then this is some kind of Armageddon stuff. Okay, let's have a look. Surrender. When this card is drawn, place it in front of yourself. End of your next turn. If a team has been eliminated, the game ends immediately. Otherwise, the game ends in a draw. Okay, so this is sort of sudden death, I think. Special delivery. Place mines in the emptiest hex until it's full. Then we've got sentry gun, electromagnet, oil drums, mines, supply. So that is what those reinforcements are. Then these, I'm guessing, are like their equipment rather than weapons. You've got stick up, medikit, prod, freeze, the lucky die, play when another player rolls a die or rolls that symbol, hit symbol, re-roll the die, blowtorch, windy wizard, parachute, super sheep, buffalo of lies, okay, railgun, scales of justice, dragon ball, longbow, battle axe, sentry gun, electromagnet again, jetpack, shotgun, handgun, mine, baseball bat, grenade, girder, Uzi, ninja rope, bazooka. And then final stack of cards. And then finally we've got more equipment in the different piles and more sudden death stuff. So I wonder if maybe this is like the base game stuff, and this other stuff down here was to do with the Mayhem edition. Not sure, let's find out. So we've got nuclear bombs, Armageddon, breaking wind, WMD, 1 HP, and flood. So those are your sort of like Armageddon sudden death cards. Got some more oil drums and mines, supply. Then we've got some more equipment here. So priceless Ming vase, holy hand grenade, mine strike, mail strike, napalm strike, banana bomb, concrete donkey, nice, homing pigeon, minigun, petrol bomb, flamethrower, sheep, cluster bomb, homing missile, yes, teleport, dynamite, airstrike, fire punch, bunker buster, mortar, old woman, booby trap, jetpack, shotgun, handgun, mine, baseball bat, grenade, jetpack, shotgun, handgun, mine, blah 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 blah. Some more of the other ninja rope, the default stuff. So I think that basically this extra pile here, the smaller pile, this is essentially cards to enable the 5 to 6 players. So for example, we've got 2 more ninja ropes, 2 more bazookas, because presumably you start with bazookas. So it's going to be, I guess that's probably what the black cards are. Maybe they're starting equipment. I think that would make sense. And so it's a additional cards for that, and also for the expansions, which is cool. Just before we wrap up, I wanted to talk about the different editions of the Worms board game and which version might be suitable for you. So there are 3 versions of the Worms board game that are available. They should now be generally available for retail. The second 2 collector's edition versions are likely to be quite limited, because I think they are Kickstarter exclusive. So there are some retailers selling them. For example, as I said earlier in the video, I bought this one from Wayland Games in the UK. So you might be able to get them from retailers for a little bit of time, but beyond that, I imagine it's only the standard edition you will get. So if you're interested in any of these versions now is the time to look. So first things first, the Armageddon Collector's Edition is the most expensive version of the game. I picked this up from Wayland Games for £136. It says the retail price is £170, but it can't really have a retail price because it's not really intended to be released in retail. So £136 is probably roughly what what you should be aiming for. So you receive everything that you saw in this video, including all of the Kickstarter exclusive stuff. So you get the worms, all of the extra worms miniatures, which look really cool. You get all of the oil drums, the custom dice. You get the Kickstarter exclusive things like the concrete donkey, the super sheep, the neoprene dice tray, the playmat. You get all of that stuff, the art prints. This is the full package, and it contains everything for 136. The Mayhem Collector's Edition is essentially what you've seen in this video, but without the extra box for the Armageddon Collector's Edition. So it includes all of the extra worms, it includes the extra super sheep, the metal danger flipper. Anything that was inside the actual game box is included in the Mayhem Collector's Edition, but the things that you won't get are like the pink worm dice, the neoprene game mat, the dice tray, the art prints, and the extra tiles. So you won't get those things, but you will get everything else. And then the standard edition is by far the cheapest version at £40. And this one actually has very little in it compared to the collector's edition, but it's basically just a really cheap way to play the Worms board game, and I think it's really well priced for what comes with it. So you get 16 worms. I think it's just 4 times 4 of the base worms, so you get 4 bazookas, 4 baseball bats, 4 grenades maybe. I'm not entirely sure if that's right, but you get basically the same looking kind of designs. You'll get 16, which means it's for 4 players, this version, not the 5 to 6 player version. And you get 5 of the dice instead of 10. You get fewer of the crates, oil drums, and mines. You get fewer of the maps and tiles. Obviously, fewer reference cards, fewer weapons. Basically, it's just a watered down version of the collector's edition, but at the price point, it's actually a really intriguing buy. So if you're watching this video far down the line and the Kickstarter stuff is almost impossible to find at this point, then the standard edition for £40 is a really good deal, and I would highly recommend it. So that is the Worms board game collector's edition unboxing and Kickstarter unboxing. There's a lot of stuff to unpack here. I don't know how the game works at all, so I can't comment on that just yet. Maybe I'll do some future videos once I've played a bit. Plan to be playing some this week, but it's really cool. I was really looking forward to this one. I like all the little minis, so looking forward to playing this with some friends. Thanks for watching.